suggests that if you do exactly these things, then everything is going to happen.
这样呢会让大家觉得说，如果你做这些事情的话呢，所有的事情都会发生。
But this is the only way that I can describe what the Lord has shown me related to this subject of faith.
但是这是唯一神给我的这样的一个信息的主题，让我能够来解释这个信心。
This incredible building would not even be here without that final ingredient.
非常宏伟的建筑物在这里，如果我们没有信心的话，我们不会今天在这里。
And all of these leaders that are joining us, and what a wonderful experience that was this morning. They wouldn't be here without that final ingredient.
所以这些万国的领袖们今天能够继续在这里，如果他们没有这个最后的这样的一个要素的话，今天早上也不会在这里。
But I want to begin by just defining from Scripture what faith is.
我想从圣经的经文里面来定义到底什么是信心。
Now, in Hebrews chapter 11, God provides us a very specific definition.
希伯来书第11章神给我们非常具体的信心的定义。
And in chapter 11, verse 1, he says, "Now faith is the assurance, the confirmation, the title deed of the things we hope for."
信心就是我们所望之事的实底，就是讲的确认凡契。
Being the proof of things we do not see,
是我们未见之事的确据
and the conviction of the reality.
乃是信心如同事实一样的存在。
Faith perceiving as real fact what is not revealed to the senses.
虽然是我们的感官所未曾预见的。
And so that's the definition.
这乃是信心的定义。
I like the title deed.
我非常喜欢这个凡契。
If you owned property, for example, in some distant place,
如果你有在很远的地方有这样的一个房地产
and you had the title deed,
有这样的凡契的话
you can't see that property,
你虽然看不见这个地方
but we would know it's yours.
但是你有这个凡契知道这个房子是你的
Now some people in conversations over the years, they said to me, you can't prove God.
有些人在谈话当中告诉我说你不能够证明神的存在
And I say, yes, I
我
can.
说是的我可以
And they say, how?
他说怎么样呢
And I say, because of faith.
我是因为信心
it sounds arrogant, but I simply know there's a God.
听起来有点高傲但是我说我真的是知道有神的存在
Now then in Hebrews 11 verse 6,
在希伯来书第11章第6节告诉我们
it says, without faith, it's impossible to please God.
他说人非有信就不能够讨神的喜悦
Because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek
因
him.
为到神面前来的人必须信有神且信他赏赐那寻求他的人
Now I want to share something that I learned or heard quite a number of years ago.
我要跟他分享几年前我所学习或者所听到的
This was told to me by a friend,
一个朋友如此的告诉
a
我
pastor,
一个牧师
who had attended a church growth conference
他参加一个教会增长的一个
in
教
a
会
very prominent church.
是一个非常好的一个教会
And there were many leaders came across America and even from around the
在
world.
北美全世界各地的领袖都聚集在一起
And one researcher presented a study
有一个专家就呈现了一个报告
about the 100 fastest growing churches in America.
美国成长最快的100间教会
And as they were describing all these different churches and what they did,
他们在描述这些教会的时候他们做些什么事情
they were very different from what kind of strategy they had.
他们的策略是很不一样的
And I remember one of the pastors was quite famous then.
有一个非常著名的一个牧师他说
Robert Schuller had built this crystal
亚
cathedral.
罗说他有一个这个水晶式的一个建筑物
But his church had begun like at a drive-in theater.
他的教会好像你能够开车在那里聚
We
会的
don't see many of these anywhere nowadays.
现在你可能看不到这些教会
But you can drive into your car, there'd be a great big screen,
你可以开车进去了车停在那里可以看到很大的荧幕
and you'd have a speaker right beside your window.
在你的窗口旁边有一个喇叭
And you didn't go into a theater or an
你
auditorium.
不是要进到会堂里面或者进到教堂里面
And Robert Schuller began by preaching on top of this little house
然后如果去了就在那个房子的这个上面来讲到
where people could buy concessions and things, popcorn.
他们也可以买一些饮料或者是
Take it to their cars.
带到他们的车里
And that was just totally different.
这是完全不一样的策略。
And then another church that had remarkable growth
然后另外一个教会也是非常大的一个增长，
happened because the pastor got a vision for taking buses and bringing children to church
这个牧师有这样的一个意向，能够开这个巴士车，把孩子接到教会
by
来，
the hundreds and hundreds,
成百的孩子到教会来，
and found that sometimes the parents would follow,
有时候父母亲也跟着一起
and
来
the，church grew remarkably.
然后教会就非常